Hello there everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Clarissa and I put out new pick a card readings, new tarot readings once a week. If you have been watching my videos for a little while, you may have noticed that I didn't post last week. It was actually my birthday last week, so I just really couldn't find the drive to do much of anything other than relax. I had a very relaxing birthday weekend, and I was just like, I'm gonna give myself a break this week and I will pick it back up next week. So here we are. I'm excited to be filming a video again. I don't know, my week kind of feels a little incomplete without filming a video, so it's kind of nice to be back into the routine of that. This week I'm going to be doing things a little bit differently. I've done these kind of weeks before, these kind of readings where they're just a collective reading for the week. Truthfully, I don't have anything in mind for spirit in terms of a question or anything. Really, I just am setting the intention that this video reach the people that it needs to, and that the message gets to those that need to hear it at this time. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I've actually decided that I'm just going to go ahead and shuffle all of the cards, all of the decks on camera this week. But I just wanted to get kind of like a little message card here at first. To set the tone here for your reading and the messages from spirit. So let's take a look here. Well, that may have been faster than I would have thought. I'm surprised it's just one card. It feels really thick. Okay, so we got for you Awaken. It can be so easy to fall into a routine, a predictable earthly pattern, without ever giving thought to who we truly are, to the essence of our being, until one day, amidst the noise, you feel it deep within. And then everything clicks. An ancient wisdom, a powerful remembering arises from deep within your bones. Every cell in your body aligns to allow you to remember who you once were, who you can be, and how this shapes who you are now. Arrive, my dear, you have awakened. Okay, so something weird happened here. I had stopped the video briefly because my animals were being super obnoxious and my neighbors were being super obnoxious in the background, and then for whatever reason my mic stopped working. And I'm realizing this now in edit. So here we are. I'm going to be trying to do a voiceover here because the thing is, I really enjoyed this message that I got for you guys the other day, and I think it's something that we can all hear at this time. And it's just something that I really felt called to, not scrap this video and to continue spreading this. And it's really something that resonated for me as well. So here I am shuffling your tarot cards, but while I'm doing that and while I lay them out, I want to talk more about that Awaken card. So I think that some of you may be currently going through a spiritual awakening. Obviously, that's what that could be, but I think that term is so overly used and makes it seem like you're going to come out of it as this like divine spiritual goddess, and I just don't think that's true. I think that personally, a spiritual awakening can be very depressing, very lonely, very isolating, because I personally think it's just us waking up to the realities of the world. It's like somebody came along and took off the rose-colored glasses that you were wearing, and you're finally able to see the world for what it really is. And there are parts of the world that aren't beautiful. Not everything in this world is beautiful and happy and just like perfect, right? And I think that is the case for a lot of you right now, and that may be what some of you are struggling with is, you're just now really kind of realizing that things aren't always fair, they're not always just, they're not always equal, and it can be very disheartening because we feel like there's not much we can do about it sometimes. And if that's how you're feeling right now, I just want to let you know that it won't always be like this. Sorry, that was really loud there. It won't always be like this for you. Things will get better. Things always cycle. They always ebb and flow. We always go through these difficult periods, and they will get better. I promise you, there are better days ahead. It can just, in that moment, seem like there's no hope. And if that's how you're feeling right now, this is why I really thought it was important to get this message out. So as you can see here on screen, you have the Four of Cups, the World, the Five of Pentacles, and the Six of Cups. And what I was really seeing here, you guys, is literally exactly what I was just talking about there with the Awakened card. What I was seeing here was this feeling of hopelessness, this feeling of depression, of anxiety, of, to me, it's very much so giving like us, doom scrolling on TikTok, or, allowing the news and all of the bad things in the world that get broadcast to us to really affect us. And don't get me wrong at all. I think that it's so important that we don't allow ourselves to become apathetic to those things, right? Because there is a lot of sadness in the world. There's a lot of terrible things going on in the world right now. And I think it's so important for us to not allow those things to weigh us down so much that we can't get back up, right? And I literally saw this quote today and I thought it was so fitting. And I was like sitting there thinking, oh my God, I wish that I would have seen this before I filmed that video the other day. And now I get to share the quote with you. So that is the one upside here, because I get to share the quote with you now that I have to do this this voiceover. Excuse me, by the way, it's like almost 8 o'clock here and I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning and I am exhausted, but I just really wanted to share this message with you guys. So literally, this is the vibe that your tarot cards are giving me. It's sometimes you need an adventure to cleanse the bitter taste of life from your soul. And I don't think there could be anything more fitting, honestly, for your guys' reading. I think that there can be so much bitterness to life, and if we don't balance it out with the beauty, with even the like little things that help us feel alive, even if it's like going outside for a walk, putting your phone down for a while and like conversing with the people around you, even like calling people that just make you feel good and that allow you to laugh and enjoy yourself. And again, this is not to say to forget about everything going on in the world, but sometimes we do need a break. Sometimes our brain needs a break so that we can continue to have the empathy that we do in those situations, right? Because I feel like especially here in the US, it's easy to get bogged down with the day-to-day and to get bogged down with all of the bad that we see in the world and on the news. And for instance, when it comes to mass shootings, which tend to happen on the daily here, or at least significant shootings do, it's easy to just become numb to it because we see it so frequently. We just get to this point where we expect certain outcomes and we are like, whatever, nothing's gonna change, and you move on to the next thing, and then before you know it, in a couple weeks there's another shooting that's being reported on, and you go through that same cycle over and over and over again, and it's like this cycle of apathy. And I think the best way for us to avoid this is for us to find the small pleasures in life. Again, even if it's like doing something as simple as, again, going outside, going on a walk, taking a small little vacation or getaway where you're not using your phone as much, maybe even putting limits on how much you are on social media and how much you're using your phone. I know that I'm somebody that has terrible boundaries with that sometimes, so it may be helpful for you to have limits with yourself where you say, after 9 o'clock, I am not going to be scrolling anymore. Whatever it is for you. But I think that right now you guys are just so bogged down with everything going on around you, and you're so caught up in the negative, like the bad of it all, and it doesn't help when we're going through this spiritual awakening. To be honest, I feel like this was me a couple years ago, and it just in some instances can make things so much worse. So I would really, really, really encourage you at this time to do something lighthearted, do something fun, do something that takes your mind off of these things, to like see the beauty in life again, romanticize your life a little bit more. And again, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. You don't have to book a flight to Paris tomorrow, but you can, schedule an appointment to get a tattoo that maybe you've been wanting for a long time, or schedule that appointment to get your nose pierced, or whatever it is, that would bring you some sense of joy, some sense of happiness, or, drive to see your best friend if you're able to do that. Maybe have a spontaneous little, spa day or date day or whatever, just to allow you to see that beauty in your life again. So I ramble on in the video for a lot longer, clearly, as you can see here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and pause here for a second, and then I'm going to cut to me shuffling your next set of cards, which will be oracle cards here. Okay, so here I am again, finally getting into your other oracle cards. By the way, I think this worked out in both of our favors, because I cut down quite a bit of the video where I was, just kind of going on and repeating what I had essentially just said to you. I feel like just 1 week off and I got a little rusty, so definitely need to stick with doing this weekly if I can. So as you can see there on the screen, we got building blocks, and I'm gonna wait until the other one comes out here too. So time for a nap. So I really feel like what Spirit is saying here to you is kind of what I was saying just a little bit there in the beginning, was that this is just kind of the beginning for us. This is us waking up to this reality and us waking up to what's going on around us. And maybe even this will be like the building blocks for us to get more involved in our communities, and for us to take more initiative when it comes to, helping out and volunteering and really trying to push the envelope about the things that we care about, as well as us evolving our thinking patterns and us evolving the way that we think about other people and their situations. And yeah, there's just so much that I feel like kind of happens with this spiritual awakening, and it's really us being able to see that, again, if society isn't perfect, that is reflected back to us in this broken system, and that's reflected back to us in the situations that certain people are in. And I really do feel like it allows us to have more sympathy for other people and their situations, and to be able to put ourselves into their shoes and try and understand things from their perspective. So I feel like that's what, Spirit's really saying here with the building blocks. With, I believe, again, it's time for a nap, or time to take a nap. The screen that I'm editing on isn't the most clear, so my apologies. That's why I'm struggling to see it. But essentially, I think that Spirit is saying here that it's okay to take a breast. Oh my God. It is okay to take a breath and to, just take things in slowly, and to start taking steps toward things slowly. And it's okay to feel a little overwhelmed. It's okay to feel a little hopeless sometimes, a little nihilistic, what's the purpose, what's the point of all this? Why are so many people having to suffer in this lifetime? It's okay to feel a little downtrodden and to feel upset and depressed. And yeah, I think that, that's why so many of us get depressed, right? It's we wake up to the realities of the world and we're like, this shit kind of sucks. And, I think about it, especially with when I was younger and was told, oh, go to college so you can get a good job and, make a good living and be able to provide for yourself and your family. And here I am now, 28 years old, and I'm like, yeah, that was a load of shit. I'm a nurse. I have a bachelor's degree. I graduated school in 4 years, and lucky for me, I was debt-free. My parents paid for my schooling, and I'm very grateful for that. Every day I'm grateful for that because I recognize how much of a privilege that is. But I'm still over here like, houses are like $400, $500, $600, $700,000, and my husband does have some student loan debt, and rent is astronomically high, and here we are, like, what the hell? I did everything I was supposed to. Why didn't the world work out in my favor, kind of thing? And this isn't like a woe is me time. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just trying to give like an example of what I mean here. That, sometimes we can do everything that we're supposed to do, everything that everybody tells us to do, but that doesn't mean that things are going to work out the way that we wanted them to. And especially kind of once we wake up to the way that society is set up and the way that things function, it again can be very disheartening because we're like, I was supposed to be a player in this, and here I am, like, on the outskirts of it all, even though I went and I got the education and I got the job and I make decent money. It's like it's never enough, right? That's kind of how you feel sometimes. It's like no matter what, it's just never enough. And it's okay to like take a break, take a breather, take a nap, take a rest, hibernate, go into hermit mode if you need to, and really think about what you want your next steps to be and where you want to go from here. Maybe you don't want to play into this anymore. Maybe you want to try and find a way out of this and try and like live your own way, your own rules with society, and that's totally cool. That's totally fine. But I think that overall I'm getting this very like tired, very just like exhausted, depressed energy, and that may not be the case for all of you. And if that's not, that's totally okay. But for those of you that it is, it's okay to rest. It's okay to take a break, and it's okay to also like take a break from social media, take a break from the negativity that we see in the world, and to go on a vacation or to, again, set limits with yourself when it comes to social media. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? So anyway, here we are now getting into your last set of oracle cards. Yay! And we just have 2 more cards for you here. So I'm just going to let past Clarissa continue to shuffle. And I'm going to take a drink. So enjoy my ASMR, my free ASMR here. All right. Damn, look at those little hands trying to shuffle those big cards. Scruggles, man. This is how it is for me, though, 90% of the time. I have, like, little tiny, stubby baby hands. And, they're just not the best always. We do what we can with them, but they don't always function the best for us. It's all good. My little sisters, they play basketball and stuff, like, in all through like elementary school up to like high school, and I swear they have like bigger, longer, better hands than me, and I swear to God basketball has something to do with that, having to like really grip that ball. I don't know what it is, if all your growth hormone just like focuses on that area. But like, I don't know, my youngest sister has like really nice long pretty fingers and like just like nice little hands, not me. Not me. I got my father's hands for sure. Man, I'm like shuffling forever, y'all. I'm sorry. I don't remember shuffling for this long. Okay. Sorry if you can hear me burp in the microphone. We have Pisces, I believe, and we have Libra, balance. And what I'm discussing here is how I think that this is kind of the perfect cap to the end of this reading because, because with Pisces and with Libra, it's that perfect balance of romanticizing and fantasizing, daydreaming with reality, right? And so I feel like overall Spirit is saying to you guys here to just do a better job at balancing, again, like what you're taking in information wise, and like, you know, maybe don't spend 4 hours doom scrolling on TikTok or social media. And remember to like ground yourself. Remember to have fun. Remember to enjoy yourself. There's always like a good way to find balance between those things. And it starts with us setting boundaries with ourselves and realizing that sometimes we have to do that in order for us to, you know, find peace and find happiness and find that alignment that we're looking for. Balance is always important. As somebody that is a Libra moon and Libra Mercury, I will never tell you that balance is not a good thing. But again, I am also a Pisces rising. That's why, like, after I got these cards, I was like, I really feel like Spirit's calling me out and some of you out. You don't have to be a Pisces or Libra or have those placements, but I felt called out with these cards a little bit. And I just think it's a really good reminder that we can do a better job of doing the little things that make us feel alive. And again, like I said earlier with that quote, taking that adventure to, you know, really purify us from the bitterness that the world imprints on our soul. But yeah, again, also staying grounded, also understanding and realizing that these problems do exist and we can't ignore them. We can't just pretend like they're not there and they're not a problem and that we don't have any issues in this world, because we do. And there's nothing wrong with that either. We just can't let it consume us to the point where we become apathetic to the news. We become apathetic to what's going on around us, and we just, I don't know, think it's a game. We think that people's lives are a game and they're not. And what other people feel and what other people go through is just as real as what you and I go through. It's that whole concept of the idea that, you know, sometimes you're going to like meet people or like see people in passing and they have just as complex lives as you do. And I think that's really important to keep in mind, right? That we all have a complex, beautiful life, and we can't, you know, think that our life is more important than someone else's, or whatever. You know, we all go through things, we all have issues, we all have problems, and I just think it's really important that we realize that. And even though somebody may seem like, you know, an extra in your life, that doesn't mean that they don't have their own complex life that they're living. Alright, you guys, well, I'm going to go ahead and leave the reading here for this week. I really hope that this resonated for you and gave you some clarity, some confirmation, you know, something to help you along your path, especially right now with the full moon eclipse happening in Taurus, and it is election season in the United States. I'm actually recording this the night of the election on the 8th. So I'm like doing this last part of the voiceover here, the night of the election, and technically it's the night of the full moon Taurus eclipse. So yeah, I really hope that this resonated for you. If it did, please leave me a comment down below. Give this video a thumbs up so that it can reach more people that need to hear this message. And I will be back to regular scheduled programming next week. I will put out like a normal pick a card reading with actual piles or cards or objects for you guys to choose from. And I really just appreciate you spending this time with me. Again, I really hope that it was helpful for you. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to my channel. I put out new pick a card readings or new tarot readings once a week when I'm, you know, when it's not my birthday or I'm not taking a vacation. But anyway, I love you guys so much, and I'm hoping all the best for you. And I hope to see you in next week's reading. Bye.